up on Studio 415, we'll give you details on a new property purchased by the school district.
We'll give you an inside look on a select group of Maple Creek students heading to China.
And we'll fill you in on the end of the Northeast Hoosier Conference in 2015.
I hope you're ready.
It's time to enter Studio 415. Welcome to Studio 415. I'm Steph Wolf.
And I'm Sam Edwards. Improving school life and academics isn't the only thing the district is doing to make NACS a better place.
Recently, the district has purchased an option to be able to purchase land south of Carroll Road and north of Baird Road. Although NACS does not have a clear idea on what the land would be used for, they say that with student enrollment continually growing, the need for more facilities may be a necessity. The land would cost the district around $466,000. The funds for this project will be coming from the old building project, which still has remaining money in it.
It's to provide more flexibility for future building growth, whether that's needing to expand the high school campus, whether that's needing to do an elementary school, do more with middle schools, or do more with athletic facilities.
NACS is intending to buy the land. Although the district has no immediate blueprints for the land, they plan to rent the land back to the former owner until NACS comes to a final decision.
As most of you might have noticed, many students were putting up flyers, giving out food, stickers, and even campaigning on Twitter. These students were doing whatever it takes to win your vote for the student council elections. The positions that were up for election were president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. 4 students from each grade represent their class in student council. Amongst this year's winners are James Malcolm for senior class president, Connor Burgess for junior class president, and Amy Hosfeld for sophomore class president. James Malcolm shares some of his thoughts on his victory.
As senior class president, I will be planning class reunions. I'll also have a couple speeches to make, really just represent the senior class as a whole anytime the student council needs to do something.
Today, students voted in homeroom to determine the executive board, which oversees the whole school and represents each class. We hope you made your vote count.
Unbeknownst to most, Maple Creek Middle School has teamed up with a school in China, not only to exchange students, but to exchange memories. Here's Studio 415 reporter James Malcolm with more on this excellent opportunity.
Middle school. Remember it? Many high schoolers have numerous memories from their 4 years of middle school. For the past 5 summers, Maple Creek principal Mark Seeley has opened up new possibilities for learning and memories. He has paired up with a middle school in Liaoning, China, to enlighten Chinese and American middle schoolers alike.
As the world expands in our participation as global citizens, we have to look beyond just our hemisphere. We have to consider Asia. We have to consider the southern hemisphere, South America.
Shenyang number 134 is the name of the middle school that Mr. Seeley has developed a close relationship with. This unique opportunity created mutual growth and visits for both American and Chinese students. Future Carroll alumni will go to China this summer. Then Shenyang students will visit Maple Creek the following October. It's a great experience with one main purpose.
This is a project about children. You want what's best for your students, and so do we. Political philosophies and ideologies are not important. We want what's best for kids. That's why we're willing to do this.
It takes a lot to prepare for a trip like this. Mr. Seeley and his students start their preparation months in advance to make sure they know what to expect on the expedition. That means a few extra hours in this building. A lot of work goes into planning out the 10 days of the trip. Parents and students must attend meetings to prepare them for everything from long flight to Chinese cuisine.
There's lots of information, cultural aspects, etiquette, the language, currency exchange. When will we leave? What will we do? Variety of things. And so we spent a couple hours, and then we collectively filled out our visa applications online.
When it's all said and done, students really enjoy the trip. Madeline Fairman went to the trip 2 years ago. She says her time there is invaluable and would love to go back.
It was an amazing 10 days, and I really enjoyed meeting Mei Jing, who was my homestay partner in China. I was really sad to be out of China. I really enjoyed exploring everything and all the new experiences that I had seen.
The trip to China even influenced her to take a few Chinese courses. Some would say a trip like this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Mr. Seeley would say it's just one more drop in his bucket of water. For Studio 415, I'm James Malcolm.
Thank you, James. As the end of the school year approaches, many students are beginning to study for finals and make summer plans. But some Carroll students are preparing for something very different this summer. This June, the speech and debate team is taking 3 competitors to the national competition in Birmingham, Alabama. Juniors Bernie Becker and Sammy Gwynn will be competing in Congress, and senior Miranda Reed will be competing in Lincoln Douglas debate.
It basically acts like our Congress does here, like in Washington. Basically, it's a room of like 20 to 30 people. We have bills and amendments we have to discuss, either an affirmative or a negative. Basically, we debate the pros and cons of the bills, and then at the end we come to a consensus as to whether the bill or amendment passes or not.
Earning a spot to compete at the national tournament is no easy task, but in recent years, the team has had multiple students qualify.
This is going to be the 4th year that we've taken students to nationals, 2008, 2011, 12, and 13. So, in at least 3 of those years, we've had multiple students go, and Carroll overall has had 12 students qualify for the national tournament.
Congratulations to those who qualified, and good luck as you continue to prepare for nationals.
You may have heard on the announcements last week the advertisements and events for Earth Week. Behind this was the AP Environmental Club.
Unknown to most students at Carroll High School, the AP Environmental Science program offers a diverse curriculum and a hands-on experience.
AP Environmental Science can be considered a capstone course because it's a more holistic picture of multiple variables. Students come here thinking that it's just a science class, but it's actually, there are times where it's like a sociology class or a political science class or an economics class.
The class promotes a balanced, sustainable view instead of promoting what some would call the tree hugger stereotype.
I think when you look at it from a scientific perspective and then you also consider the economic perspective, there is a happy medium where you can have a quality of life and at the same time sustainably use those resources.
Students also get the opportunity to learn and apply concepts in multiple environments.
Our activities are pretty varied. We do a lot of case studies, simulations. We go outside a decent amount. We work over at the Forest by Hickory Center in the fall quite a bit. We go to the Environmental Center for Northwest Allen County Schools.
In the class we took field trips. One was to a waste treatment facility in Fort Wayne. It smelled really bad, but it was a lot of fun because I didn't actually know how any of that stuff worked. And then in the second semester, the field trip is to the Indiana Dunes. And this year, I think they went to the coal plant, and that was really fun.
Some students even get involved in the Environmental Science Club.
It was started the same year I took the class, which was the first year it existed. And it's a lot of just trying to get people involved in doing green stuff.
The students plant a tree every year during Earth Week and have fun in the process.
That's always fun for the club to get together and have some bonding time together.
Club members also participate in park cleanups throughout Fort Wayne on weekends.
You know, we're not paid for it, but we decided to meet there on a Sunday. It's completely voluntary, and we do our part, you know, to benefit everybody.
Our goal is basically just to get the school to be aware of environmental issues, and we talk a lot about sustainability and tragedy of the commons and issues like that happen all around us.
So if you're interested in a diverse, applicable, and engaging class, check out the AP Environmental Science program. I'm Kent Henley, Studio 415.
Thanks, Kent. Starting next week, Carroll's advanced placement students will be engaging in the nationwide AP exam for college credit in certain classes. With the details on how Carroll's AP students and teachers are preparing for the exam, here's Studio 415 reporter Zach Honeycutt.
Here at Carroll, many students are enrolled in advanced placement courses. Beginning next week, these students will be required to take a comprehensive nationwide standardized examination.
Advanced placement tests are given every May for students who are taking a college-level course to see if they have met the requirements that you would in a college level.
The exams determine whether a course will be counted for college credit. Therefore, it is imperative that students study and prepare themselves.
College Board grades a test 1 to 5. If you get a 3, 4, or 5, the state of Indiana counts a 3 as passing the test.
You can start studying by reading over your class notes and completing the review packets and worksheets the teachers provide.
To prepare for the exams, I just basically go through all the review material that the teachers give. They're really helpful with giving you a lot of practice tests and different types of ideas how to review.
Good luck to all students taking the AP exam next week. For Studio 415, I'm Zach Honeycutt.
Thanks, Zach. An important part of class elections here at Carroll are electives. A wide variety of classes allows students to expand their interests in specific areas, such as the arts, science, and athletics.
One example of an elective would be painting, which is taught by Mr. Kilmer. In this class, students focus on the unique qualities and limitations of watercolor, acrylic, and oil paintings. Other electives offered at Carroll include Ceramics 1, 2, 3, and 4, Strength and Conditioning, Animal Science, and Radio TV 1 and 2. Electives like these were made for students to be able to find areas that may interest them as a career.
I think electives are very important. I mean, if you're a college-bound student, you obviously have to get your Core 40 or your academic honors to get into a four-year college, but especially for kids who maybe aren't going to proceed to a four-year college, I think electives are very important to gain a skill that you might be employable in after high school.
If any of these classes caught your interest, it's not too late. Be sure to speak with your grades guidance counselor about altering your schedule before May 1st.
And now we turn it over to Grace Fennessy to find out what is happening in Charger sports.
Starting on the 1st of July in 2015, all athletics in the Northeast Hoosier Conference, or NHC, will have to join with another conference. The decision to end the NHC was finalized on April 18th, but will not go on into effect for athletics until 2 years from now. The main question that arises is why the NHC has come to an end. Due to growing schools such as Homestead and Carroll, smaller schools felt like they weren't on an equal playing field. Dan Ginder, head of the athletic department here at Carroll High School, says that Carroll will make a decision on what they might do in the future.
We're going to explore those options, whether that is a new conference, whether it is having conversations that would include schools that want to create something new.
With that in mind, schools also have to consider how this decision will affect the forthcoming athletics. Sophomore Justin Tranquil says this might help athletics in the long run.
So I think as an athlete, this will force us to play at a higher level of football and other sports, so I think it'll benefit us.
In other sports news, some students here at Carroll think football, soccer, and baseball are not enough. These students have engaged in a newly popular sport, rugby. I took a look on how this international sport differs from the ones offered here at our own school.
Here at Carroll, rugby is certainly one of the more unique sports. Yes, because of its aggressive reputation, as players don't wear padding and penalties are rare, but mainly because it is a club sport. Tom Reithmiller, the Charger rugby coach and volunteer, explains the difference.
This means that most of the kids students are from Carroll, but there are some that we also draw from Leo, we also draw from Northrop, and one of the players is a homeschool kid. So it's not predominantly here, and it's not sanctioned by the IHSAA, which is the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
As a club sport, the rugby team has a lot more freedom, and there's less pressure to commit to a daily after-school schedule.
We don't practice every day. Practices are semi-mandatory. We ask that you practice at least once during the week to play, because coaches are volunteers and we have work schedules as well.
Home games and practices are here at the corner of Carroll and Lima Road. Although things aren't as regimented, the team does exceptionally well, still maintaining an attitude of having fun.
When you're together, you're like this big unit that just has a ton of fun, and after the games, even if we're beating the crap out of the other team, after the game we'll get together and we'll eat some food and we'll talk and have a good old time and talk about different crazy stories that we have of the weekends or whatever, because it's just like a giant family out here where we're just having fun the whole time.
As an addition to our Charger pride, the rugby team, along with other club sports, is exciting to be a part of and fun to watch. This is Grace Fennessy with Studio 415.
Thanks, Grace, and thank you, Carroll, for joining us today.
Our next show will be in 2 weeks on May 15th.
For all of us here at Studio 415, have a great day, Carroll.